All right, we're moving on here. Next session. As we look at this workflow here, I'm hoping this is like, is this mind-freeing for anybody just to see it out here, just to see it? And every time that I do a conference, I try to refine our systems to make it even easier every time. And the boxes, some people get hung up on this, and I just want to show you this. And there's some intentional parts to it that maybe are subtle. But typically your arrows, you would go like this, and then the numbers would be in order, one would think. But sometimes you have to skip a step to go to the next step and then come back to a step. So normally it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You kind of follow a path. But what I find is a lot of business owners, we go to step 1, step 2, step 3, but then they don't know who their top 3 competitors are, and they don't know their unique value proposition, and so it's hard to scale the company if you don't know what you are. It's like if you were a sport, you couldn't define the rules to the sport and what makes your sport unique. Are we on the same page? So let's talk through this a little bit here. You want to know your niche is what we're talking about now. Know your niche. And I would encourage you to write this down somewhere in your book because this is big. You want to know your niche. Okay? So I'm going to pick on myself for a second. Stairs, why do I only work with 160 clients? Why do I do that? What is the purpose?
Well, one of the reasons is you want to make sure that you know each of your clients. Another reason is your time that you have. You know that you can fit 160 clients into your schedule, and you don't want to go over that.
Yeah, and just being real, I mean, Monday, we had a wonderful client, no fault of their own. Their credit card expired with GoDaddy, and thus their website went down. And then yesterday, with Master Machine, their website went down. And it's not their fault. It's just, how many of you have ever had this happen? The card expired. And so for them, it's urgent. And I feel like for me, it's incumbent on, I'm responsible for being responsive to them and helping them make their website work. And I know that I don't want to ever get to a spot where I have 1,000 people, because the ratio, if you have 160 clients, usually 2 websites crash a month for reasons that are not related to anything the owner did wrong. It's just their card expired. Make sense? Or how many of you have ever been sued before? Oh, it's sweet. It's a great team.
It's awesome.
And we almost have like a shame. It's like, oh, you've been sued? Oh my gosh, what did you do? I let
Nothing.
Mike Lindell speak at a speaking event. Oh my gosh, you're terrible. Are you okay? So being sued, some people like really have a hard time with. I don't care because money's not a really big motivator for me, and I par for the course. Death threats don't bother me. If you were coaching me, you would have a pretty good relationship because I would just do the action items and we'll see you next week. But some people, it's emotional, it's stressful. The first time they get sued, it's tough. And I just know for me, once we got to 160 clients, I was like, I just couldn't see it getting bigger than that because I am happy where I'm at and I like it. And it bothers some people when I tell them that. They're like, well, how come you don't want to grow? I'm good. Well, if you're not growing, you're dying. I don't know that's true. So let me just give you some. I'm trying to help you guys know in your niche. There's a fitness trainer. Steve?
Yep.
Have you ever worked with a personal trainer guy? You ever done that before in your life?
Yeah, for like a day.
Okay. Stairs, have you ever had a trainer guy? You ever worked with a trainer guy?
Like for a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a trainer in Tulsa who does this thing called
telling me
Rolfing.
what to
Do you know what Rolfing is?
Rolfing.
Rolfing.
Should you be talking about that?
Are you talking about golfing?
No, Rolfing. Who knows what Rolfing is?
Is that where you throw
It's
up?
an aggressive form of therapeutic massage.
No.
And it's
From
like,
a dude?
Listen, hey, it's a real thing. And so there's one of my clients is in great physical shape, and he happens to be in the medical industry, and he used to come into our meetings looking sweaty every Friday, like profusely sweating, and I'm going, dude, what is wrong with you? And he's like, just got back from my Rolfing. And I'm like, Rolfing? Should you go repent? You know? And he's like, this is a thing. It's Clay, you don't get it. But he has a trainer, and the trainer, he does these aggressive workouts. It's high-impact stuff. And then after this training session, this guy does this intense massage where who's ever been Rolfing? Is it terrible? Is it good? Is it terrible? Very painful. Yeah. So my client comes in every week like,
Sign me up.
Every Friday.
Sounds gay.
He's walking in every Friday, and he's like, and I'm like, dude, you look horrible. He's like, I know, it was the best.
He's like,
I'm like, what? What? Are they flogging you? And he's like, no, you should try it. So I told my wife, because my wife likes these kind of experimental medical things, you know?
no.
And I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
hey, why don't you try that? And so my wife's like, it's the most painful thing in my life. Why would you refer? So, but my client, this particular trainer, he doesn't carry a business card. He just is a rolfer. And he's a personal trainer, and his niche is he has 3, and Charles, you could probably relate to this, but he does 3 sessions per week for his clients. And he tells the clients, if you're going to be my client, I want you to adhere to my diet, and we have 3 workouts a week. We never reschedule. It's the same time every week, and we're going to do the workout and the rolfing, and that's what it's going to be. And that's what we're going to do. And so I met him because I was at the birthday party for my client now. So I'm at my client's birthday party, and my client's like, hey, have you met my rolfer? And I'm going, he's here? And he's like, oh, yeah, he's here. And this guy's built like you, Charles. He's pretty jacked, and he's like, yeah, I'm his trainer. And I'm like, do you have a business card? No. Do you have a website? No. Why? He's like, I only take on 15 clients. That's all I do, you know. And I charge them a couple $1,000 a month. I got 15 clients. All my clients are walking billboards. So I make $30,000 a month net profit, no website, no marketing, no print piece, no goals. He's like, I have a house I live in. I travel all the time. I love my schedule with, think about it, 15 clients, 3 hours. So it's 45 hours a week he works. And he's good. So you need to know your niche. And his niche is just training with 15 clients. And Charles, you could have done that with your career. Couldn't you have, Amber, have
you
done
could
that?
have been a rolfer.
Charles,
Okay,
come up here for a second. Come up here for a second. But you
missed
could have
out big time, bro.
No,
You could have
because
been rolfing.
you could have, and my understanding is there's people, you had like a waiting list of people that wanted to just train with you, and that could have been your niche. Is it right? You could have been like the one-on-one trainer guy?
Yeah. Back in when I first started, I was.
Did you and Amber ever have that discussion of like, is that going to be the move, or did you always have the
Well,
idea?
I would have guys that come back and say, I want to train just with you. We're training like 160 clients, like 30,000 a month in PT, and I'm just in the back office, and the guy's like, hey, I only want to work with you, and they throw $3,000 or $4,000 on the table. Like I don't have time. I'm trying to run the business, and a lot of these people are your old friends because you trained them. But I would have a list back in the day.
So that could, I'm trying to help somebody here. You have to know your niche. So you could be that niche. That's a thing you could do. We could go there, okay?
Could be
Sean, I want you to hack around and Google. You'll find
Is
it.
that rolfing on the internet right there?
Probably.
Can we
Sean,
see some
look
of that?
up. It's a breakfast restaurant. It's a breakfast restaurant in San Jose, and it's going to come to me in just a second. It's a breakfast restaurant in San Jose. It's famous for Silicon Valley. Hack that in, Sean, you'll find it. It's a famous Silicon Valley. Bucks. It's called Bucks. Look up Bucks. Bucks. I've been there before. And Bucks is a restaurant where Buck works there. And it's like the most famous restaurant in Silicon Valley. And the guy who runs it, his name is Buck. And Bucks is the name of the restaurant, and he's Buck. So if you look at it.
And is he like the only employee?
There it is. Click
He
inside
does
it.
everything?
So anytime that like Steve Jobs would roll in there, or Musk or these people, he would go, "Could you get a photo and put it on the wall?" And they go, "Yeah, sure." But he's there every day. So if it's like the most famous restaurant, but he's there. Is that wrong, Steve, to have a business where you're Buck and your restaurant is Bucks and you're there every day?
No, if that's what you want, then
Yeah.
that's good for you.
But somebody else here, you might want to own multiple locations, and so you have to have that discussion with yourself. You have to know your niche, okay? Also, back to my business. Why do you guys think that as a general rule, I don't work with startups? I do work with startups, but I prefer not to. Anybody want to, Charles, you want to guess why I don't work with startups? I do, but it's like not my preference. Why?
I mean, you've
Take a gander, just a guess.
most people don't do their action items. Or they don't
Right.
take the business.
And I'm not going to talk to you about waking your grown ass up at 5 in the morning. I'm not a life coach. So I'm not going to, yeah, it's a little therapy there. I'm not going to call an adult and go, "Did you wake up? Are you okay? Are you awake, buddy? Are you all right?" And I don't want to have calls like, "Well, my alarm goes off and like I want to wake up, but like the alarm goes off, and I deal with FOMO, and I just my wife and we struggle with life balance." I don't know what that is, but that's not. Go see the therapist. I'm going to send them to you all day. Amen. Shaka Baba. So, but startups, I can't, because I'm not trying to change your life habits. I'm not trying to change you. I want to grow a business. So I am to a business what the auto mechanic is to a muffler. Are we on the same page? So if you take a muffler that doesn't work, if you have a car that doesn't work, right, and you go to the automotive repair shop, aren't you expecting the car to be repaired? That's what I do for companies. But imagine you went to the automotive repair shop and you say, "Can you help me change my life?" And the muffler guy's going, ma'am, I don't really know. I know that your muffler probably needs to be replaced. But, well, my husband, you see, we and I were fighting, and he was driving the car too fast, and that's why the muffler has to be replaced. I am a business mechanic. Are we on the same page? I am not a life coach. But because there's some confusion there, people will reach out to me going, I'm just trying to be my better self. And I don't know what that is because I don't even know what that means. But I just work with business owners. So sometimes a startup is a little out of my zone. Steve, startups, you've referred over some of your great friends who've gone on to do really well with me. And then some you're like, that's probably not going to work, but we'll give it a whirl. Who is not a good fit for what I do?
I'm going to probably get reprimanded again. But
Okay. You only have 4 rebukes today, by the way. You're doing good.
I'm trying to get another rebuke. I think if you're a weak-ass bitch. Okay, so there I said it.
5.
So, no, I mean, just like you said, it's just a lot of people that talk. They just talk about all the things they want to do, but when it comes down to, like, actually writing the content for this, like, 3 pages that you pick for your website, they can't sit down over the course of a 6-month period and write the content for their website, and they think it's just going to get written by the ether, I guess.
Because there's, like, predictable emotional situations that will happen, okay? So one of the things I love, I wish that you guys could be a fly on the wall and hear some of the things that General Flynn says, because he's so high integrity and so awesome. And I'm going, hey, Chief, you're going to speak in just a minute. Are you kind of nervous, And he's like, we got to save America, and we need to put mission over ego. So what I want's really not important, but I'll get up there and speak. But, like, that's his whole thing, And I'm like, what did you just say? It's like everything you just said needs to be a quotable on a shirt. Every statement. He's like, mission over ego, facts over feelings. And I'm like, oh, put that on a shirt. Remember, Aaron, you see this all the time. He's the real deal. Facts over feelings, Clay. Facts over feelings. Because certain people are like, how come I only get 10 minutes to speak and this guy gets 30? And it's like, facts over feelings, mission over ego, thank you. And I'm like, I'll put that on a shirt. He's just so fact over, feelings, the mission over ego, those kind of people do really well with us. But I know my niche. Now, how many of you have been to like a self-help thing? I'm not ripping it, but they do like you walk on hot coals and you find who you are and you run through the woods and you do some kind of trust fall. In my office, if you did a trust fall, no one would catch you and we'd all laugh.
Yeah, true.
They'd be like, oh, that's hilarious.
Do you see that idiot just following his back? What a retard.
So we have a very funny office. It's a very irreverent office, but I know my niche. Now, back to you, Steve. Your niche. You work with people that have a credit score of north of what? What's the number at stevecarrington.com? You have to have a credit score of at least what?
I mean, if your credit sucks, I don't really want you to call me, but I mean,
What's the
I will
number?
help you. I mean, mostly over a 600.
Okay, but if it's like 570, you've helped people get there. I've seen you do it.
Yeah, I help them.
Yeah.
Most people don't, though.
But you could, and I've seen you do it.
Well, I know, but most people that are at 570 are there for a reason, and I'm not going to change their life ways just because they want to get a mortgage.
So his niche is he'll help you get funded fast, and he'll be very transparent of, hey, if you want to pay a little more per month, this is an option. Pay a little less, this is an option. But Steve will fund people usually in about 5 to 6 times faster than anybody I've ever met. People that I know who've called you to get pre-qualified, they'll go, he called me back, got me pre-qualified, and is getting it funded here before the other guys called me back. Because he doesn't do holidays, ever. I mean, it's every 7 days a week, every week?
Yeah, I just answer my phone. Like right now, my phone is right here.
Don't do it.
I'm always I just, like while I was up here earlier, one of Aaron's salespeople called and said, I went out and talked to him for 3 minutes. Then I got that person's app. They said there's no way it can get done. It's a HUD guideline, blah, 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 whatever. And, we got the app, and we're disclosing it today, and we're probably going to close it in about 12 days because we just know what we're doing.
So now you go to colawfitness.com. The business, I want to walk through the mechanics of search engine optimization because I want to kind of land the helicopter and or the plane there today so we leave with some closure here. What a website should look like if you want it to make you money is this. I'm going to walk you through the mechanics of this, okay? So first off, at the top left, there's a logo. And Aaron, I'm going to have you kind of point out some stuff here. Could someone tell me why the logo of the website should also take you to the homepage? Could someone tell me this idea?
So people know how to get back to the homepage easily?
It's just like an accepted norm, and it's just, I don't know why, but that's the thing, okay? Then you have to have your no-brainer on your website. Aaron, why does the no-brainer have to be on the website?
Because most people are going to shop and go to a bunch of different websites and look at a bunch of different websites, but they're only physically going to show up to like 10% of those. And so you just want to make the cut in the top 10%. And if you have a really hot deal, people are going to come to you and physically come visit you or call you on the phone and say, hey, I'm interested in doing business.
Now, Charles, you have the most reviews in every city you're in. Why is it important that people know that?
Well, you of course coming to your conference, 80% of people click on the highest and most reviewed, and then 76% end up purchasing with whoever has the highest and most reviewed product or service.
Pretty wild. And so, but okay, now you have to have a play button on your website, and the play button should be like a little commercial that tells people
Good
what
job,
you
Aaron.
do. If you hit play right there, and again, these are things we do for clients. We cut it, we can edit it, add music, do it all. And again, if you don't hire us, you can do it yourself. You can do it your own, do it yourself. But my whole thing is with what I do, I don't work with other vendors. Can someone please explain to me why I don't work with other web people and video people? Why would I do it all in-house? Can someone please explain to me? Why is it easier for me to charge you a flat rate and do it all internally as opposed to having different vendors? Can someone please explain it to me?
Because people suck.
You're,
I keep
rebuke
saying.
7. Okay.
Time and money.
Why
People
is
are
that?
terrible.
Why?
They don't
Can
do what
someone
they
tell
say
me
they're going to do.
Why?
They take too long.
What's that? Yes, what else? Yeah, I could walk over to the video editor and go, hey, you're doing great on this video, but I want you to move this here or move that there, change this, cut this, add in this music. So this video, Charles used a vendor.
Just don't suck.
Thank you.
Okay.
Charles
Clay's
and
book.
Amber, they used a vendor the guy who made this video is a former employee of mine who left on very good terms, and he now has a video company, and that's what he does. And Charles and Amber wanted to make a really nice branded commercial, and they wanted to do it at their locations. And so without reservation, I said, Roman is the guy who could probably do that. We do stuff internally, but I just don't want to like deal with people. I don't suffer fools very well. I don't want someone who's not
Yeah.
going to call you back. So hit play here. Show this real quick here.
At Cola Fitness, we offer memberships for as low as $7 a month. You get free trainer and nutrition instruction in a positive and uplifting atmosphere where you can work out at your own pace. Enjoy a free tanning session and get free massages. Cola Fitness. You can work out, massage, and tan for as low as $7
Pause.
a month.
And I'm not saying you like the commercial or you don't. I'm just saying it's effective. Are we on the same page? It's effective? Okay. So back to the website. By the way, who's Stephen Meyer? Stephen Meyer? Where are you at, Stephen? Stephen Meyer? Are you here? Stephen?
Dr. Meyer.
Stephen Meyer? Is he here? Stephen?
Oh, you lose then.
Who's Jesse Engler? Jesse Engler?
Boom.
Hi, you Jesse Engler? You have won a helicopter ride. So you and this is your girlfriend, wife? Wife, you and your wife get to go up there and you guys can make out and just do that. And then
The last people survived.
hey,
They didn't crash.
So you guys can go right now, okay? You guys can go right now. And then when you get back, tell us so we can get the next person up there. So have fun, and you can wave at my wife. You'll fly over our house.
Just
You can wave at her.
walk towards the spinning blades outside. You'll be fine.
Look for this. Okay, so the website, though, this is the components. Now, why do you want to have a horizontal navigation bar, Steve? Why? Because a lot of business owners will fight me on this. They'll go, well, I don't want to have a horizontal navigation bar. Can you please explain to me, Steve, why do you have to have one? Why do you have to have a horizontal?
It's how Google wants it to be. It's part of their canonical compliance.
Sean, shrink it down to mobile real quick. Shrink it down to mobile. Why does it have to work on mobile? Can someone please tell me on this vision? Why?
Because everybody uses their mobile.
Right.
This is the first time I've seen a computer screen in like years.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, so it's really important, though, that you adhere to these rules and these systems because this is what is going to grow the business. And if you don't, you get stuck. So you have to know your niche, though. You got to know your niche. Now, why do you want to mystery shop 3 competitors? Next action step. Why do you want to call your top 3 competitors and pretend as though you're a customer in both your city and in other cities? Why would you want to call the top 3 gyms that are not yours, or the top 3 mortgage companies that are not yours, or the top 3 home building companies that are not yours in both your city and an analogous similar city? So in my opinion, Tulsa, Oklahoma, in my opinion, is similar. Some might disagree, but in my opinion, it's similar to Plano. If someone disagrees, it's fine. But I think Owasso and Plano have a lot in common. I think that McKinney, Texas, has a lot in common with Owasso. McKinney, Texas, and Owasso are very similar. Why would you want to, if you're a home builder in McKinney, why would you want a mystery shopper in McKinney and Owasso?
Well, because you want to see what are the best practices there. You're going to learn stuff from your competition. You're going to learn about what you're doing well and what you're not doing well, and you're going to learn what they're doing really well that maybe you've never even thought about implementing. I actually just did this last week and had a very eye-opening experience shopping one of my competition. And came back to Clay yesterday for our meeting and said, hey, here's an idea I had. And I said, what do you think about this? And he was like, you should implement that today. Like, that's a great idea. So you're going to learn from them. But it also, like, as they're going through their spiel and their pitch and walking you through their process, you're going to kind of go, man, we're falling short in this area. I see them doing this well. Or you're going to be like, wow, they suck. I at least don't suck as much as they do, which is Clay Stair's book right there, Just Don't Suck.
Oh. Now,
Okay.
who here, now Stairs is going to be speaking tomorrow about hiring, and it's going to be incredible. I promise you're going to love it, folks. Now, who here does pedicures or manicures ever?
Buying one.
Who here goes to pedicures or manicures
do.
ever? Okay,
I get
so
pedis and manis.
I went through a phase in my life where I kind of started to question my sexuality. No, I'm just kidding. But I was going to other hair places
So did we.
because I had to spy on hair places. And I don't go to hair places. Like, I am the kind of guy, I just don't care, which
Clay
is
will
obvious.
just cut his own hair
No.
while he's in the shower without a mirror.
Well, I hired a
doesn't
guy,
care.
back in the day I hired an employee named Jake, and I said, Jake, just cut my hair. So he would go, brr, brr, and I go, just leave me a little duck butt, and that's good. We call it the duck butt. I pay him $10, and we're done. And I'm like, I equate speed and quality as the same thing. Just leave the duck butt, we're good. And sometimes it was bad, sometimes it was okay, but that was my thing. It was 10 minutes, it was good. So with the hair business, when we opened up the hair business, I thought, okay, I see a niche, so I need to go to all my competitors, okay? So who's been to Great Clips? Great Clips? So I went there, and they have like the chairs. You sit down in the kind of plastic chairs. Have you been to Great Clips?
They're meant for like 12-year-old boys.
And they have magazines. Who's been there? They have magazines. You know, magazines like People Magazine and stuff. And it's really not catered to appointment only. It's pretty much walk-in focused. And the person who answers the phone is the person who cuts your hair. Have you seen this?
Yep.
So Aaron, what kind of haircut were you looking to get today, sir? Okay, let me get the phone real quick. Thank you for calling Great Clips. How can I help you? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm with a customer. I'll be right back with you. So what kind of haircut were you looking for?
Yeah, I like to go with.
So
my
sorry,
friends.
phone's ringing. And hey, a new person just walked in. Bing bong, how are you? Welcome to Great Clips. I'll be with you in like 7 days. Have you seen this? A lot of chain smoking out back. Okay, so I'm like, that doesn't work. So if I do open a hair business, I'm not going to have any phones in the store. So the person working there never has to answer the phone. The phones will be answered somewhere else. Then I discovered, wow, I had to wait an hour for a 20-minute haircut. I'm going to do appointment only, so there's no waiting. And then the haircut, you know, it's like, how many of you have ever worked in the hair industry? If it snows, nobody comes in. And if it rains, you're living in poverty. But if it's good weather, you're busy. How many of you noticed this in the hair industry? Or holidays, nobody comes in. But so I figured, let's do a membership model. So we'll charge people $40 a month, and it's a membership only kind of thing. And then I just kept mystery shopping, and every place I went to, I learned something else. I also went to a place in San Diego, the nicest place in San Diego, and the guy, true story, the guy says to me, sir, do you want the wet look or the dry look? I'm like, the whole sexuality thing again, I'm like, I don't know. Is he hitting on me? What's happening? I don't know. He's like, sir, my wife was with me. My wife was laughing because we had to go to these places every couple weeks, and she was like, honey, it's not that bad. I'm like, I hate these places. I just hate all the variables and all the hair stuff. You know, with your thin hair, sir, you want to have a product that makes it more full. Yeah. And I'm like, stop. Whatever. Okay. So I go in, and this guy says, do you want the wet look or the dry look? I said, I like the dry look. He said, okay, yes. And then he cuts my hair, and then I have the wet look. And my wife was like, you look like an Italian gangster or something. That's not the look. And I'm like, freaking. So I go back. I'm like, dude, I definitely want the dry look. And he says, oh yes, I will get you the dry look. And this is a real guy. And his whole thing is, no matter what haircut you asked for, he's gonna give you the wet look, because that's what he wants. Have you seen the hair people like this? Sir, based upon the circumference of your head, you need what we're going to call a bald fade. Or, sir, what kind of haircut do you want? Sure, let's do a bald fade, because they have like one move.
Yeah.
It's like a military place. So anyway, I learned all these things, and then with full confidence, I went into the marketplace knowing that I would be the only haircut place that was membership only, where the phones never rang in the stores, where the first haircut was $1, where someone actually answered the phone when you called, and where we had highly trained salespeople that actually followed what you wanted with the haircuts. The stylists followed the systems. And I knew with confidence I would win because I had already mapped it out on a spreadsheet. So I knew I would win before I even spent any money on the business. Does that make sense? So with Randy's business, I know he just left, but the guy who built the pergolas, he called me and said, hey, I want to open up a Tulsa location. Are you down? And I said, how much is it going to cost me? He's like, about 120 grand. I go, okay, let me mystery shop. Why did I mystery shop, Steve? Why did I call all the competition?
Because you wanted to find what your point of differentiation might be in Tulsa.
Charles,
what
why do
everybody
you
else is
think?
doing.
What kind of feedback do you think I got when I called all of the competition in Tulsa and researched other companies that do pergola and hot tubs and pools? What kind of competition did I discover, you think, in Tulsa?
Probably not. Nobody's following systems, and
It was a full week into my mystery shopping before anyone called me back.
yeah. See,
And I'm like, oh, we're going to dominate this market. None of them had reviews. None of them could quote anything. None of them worked via appointment. They would say, sir, I could come on by to get you a quote on Tuesday or Wednesday. And I'm going, let's go with Tuesday. Well, my schedule changes now. I can't commit to a time. But it's like working with the phone company. Have you ever dealt with the phone company? Yeah. I'll be there between 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. So you just take the day off, and you just wait, and we'll come by and hook up your cable. Have you ever had this happen? So I recognized if we could do appointment only and we had the most reviews, we would win. And so we're doing, $500,000 of sales a week in a startup in Tulsa because I knew it would work. I knew the math was there. I knew the market was there. Any questions about discovering your niche? I've got 2 other questions on your niche. Don't hire employees that you don't get along with, okay? Please stop hating your life. Please don't hire people that you, I appreciate irreverent humor. And so in my office, there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens every single day that I think is hilarious, but you might find disturbing. But I'm not trying to convince you to appreciate the punchline. Make sense? So in my office, who here has ever listened to Dave Chappelle? How would you describe Dave Chappelle's humor? Hilarious? What else?
Inappropriate, which is why I like him.
It's kind of, I think it's kind of profoundly irreverent. Doesn't he say a lot of times what you're thinking? You remember his routine where Dave Chappelle, who's black, dressed up like he was a part of the KKK? You remember this? Mm-hmm. And he was a blind KKK member preaching about the dangers of black people, but he was in fact black. Do you remember that? Yes. Who saw that? Yeah. And it's and I've met people that are kind of that way with their racism on both sides. I've met people that hate white people or hate black people, and it doesn't make any sense. So the comedy was so priceless, but it's a lot of people can't handle that. And in my office, we're just an irreverent bunch here. So everybody in my office tends to sing out loud. They'll sing out loud to stuff. They'll laugh out loud. They tell jokes that are funny or that are not. There's an irreverent kind of a locker room sort of camaraderie. And the only thing that offends us is if someone is offended. So someone's like, I'm offended. We're like, what a jackass.
That's his last day. Gonna miss you.
So anybody who's offended, that's what offends us. It's like a culture like that. And we all get here early. The workday starts at 7 a.m. and we work until 3. And that's the culture. And we have to-do lists, and everyone carries a to-do list, and everyone has a calendar, and everybody who works here has goals. And that's just a culture we've created. Now, Aaron, if you were to hire, and you've been with me long enough where you've seen where people have an expiration date.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get myself sued again today, but the thing is, when somebody has an expiration date, much like expired milk, why do you not go, well, I'm loyal to this purchase, let's do it? Why when an employee reaches their expiration date, why do you need to let them go?
Oh, because they start to contaminate everyone around them. They turn into kind of the cancer in the company. They start trying to repel other people out of your company or tell them, all the reasons. It's always passive aggressively.
Right.
And it's always let me let you in on a secret kind of a thing. And then they want to go to everybody and talk to them about all the things they think you're not doing right or that you're, illegal, immoral, unethical, even though what they're doing is immoral and unethical.
So these are just 2 examples from my last 10 years I can share with you that are far enough in the past I won't get myself in trouble. But we had a very good employee who'd been here over 10 years. And our meetings start at 7. So if a meeting starts at 7, what time should you be at the meeting, you think?
6:45.
Okay. So this guy starts rolling in at 7:02 one day. Okay? And he's been 10 years always on time. And I said, hey, I pulled him aside privately. Hey, I'd like it if you'd be on time. I'm sure you had something come up. Are you good? He's like, oh, like you've never been late? This is like 10 years of resentment build up. And I go, actually, come to think about it, I haven't. But now that you brought it up, you've been late twice this week. So stop. Oh, really? Oh, I've been here 10 years? I'm like, yeah, and you'll be here about 10 more minutes. It's a true story. Well, then I found out that this happens to me every year. It's an annual gift. It's every single year. A client, he goes, I got to be honest with you. One of your clients has hired me to work for them on the side. And I've been doing work for them on the side. And so I'm like, okay, so you violated your non-solicitation, your non-compete. And then one of my clients called you and said, will you work for me on the side? He's like, yeah, and we've also been lying to you about your commissions. They pay them to me now. And I'm like, oh, so the commissions they were lying about to me, they've been paying to you. He's like, yeah, but you're just so judgmental and I hate being here. And I'm like, then you're gone. And so a 10-year relationship wrapped up in 10 minutes and it's done. It's so freeing. Woo! But I know people that keep those people in their office, and you know what I'm talking about? And you can't have a toxic culture. And a toxic culture is where you and your values are saying one thing, but you're doing something else, and it creates a collective cognitive dissonance. So at the Reawaken America Tour, we have a 30-minute prayer and healing service, and I'm not prophetic. I'm not a pastor, and I often am very skeptical about most prophets, but not all prophets. That's my summary. I am skeptical of prophets, not all prophets. There are real prophets. There also are real mechanics, and there's also real dentists, and there's fake dentists. How many of you ever been to a bad dentist or a bad mechanic or a bad contractor? I don't have just universal faith in the concept of a prophet or a teacher, but I have certain people that I have at the tour that I think are bona fide, certified, great people, and they come up there and they do a prayer and healing service. And it happened 2 events ago, but a big-time personality, not one of the ones who speaks, but someone who wanted to speak. They go, I would be more comfortable joining the tour if you would just take the prayer out of it because it's offensive to a lot of members of the Republican Party that don't believe in prayer. And I was like,
What?
well, then you just can't come to the events then. Or you can, and he's like, but you're not open. And if we, because that's the minds, we're on the same page? So my culture for the Reawaken Tour, although it is offensive to some, it's very much God first, country second, and that's the order, And so that's how I do it. But there's many people that say you could reach more people if you would switch it and put country first, God second, or not even mention God. And even though maybe someone here agrees with that, so I got a very good friend of mine, he happens to be a different faith, he's a doctor, and he goes, if you would take out the prayer and healing, you would have so many more doctors, because most doctors are atheists. And I go, what? He goes, most of the top doctors in America today are atheists or agnostic, and so I could get you the top names. And I'm going, no. But again, you have to know are we on the same page? So when you know your niche, you have to know your niche for your customers, but you also have to know the kind of employees you want to hire. And so I'm going to leave you with this, and then we'll wrap up for today, okay? You need to do it in the next 24 hours, and when Clay Stairs will speak on it tomorrow, you need to really listen to what he's saying. But you need to be thinking about who's your ideal client and who's your ideal employee. You really need to think about it. So the other day, we had somebody apply for a job, and right away, multiple people go, oh, she'll be a perfect fit. Because everybody who's here knows it. But then other people show up and they're like, probably Antifa. Probably not going to hire that person. Yeah. So you really need to think about that because it's hard to scale something if you don't know who you are. Are we on the same page? You really need to know that. Any final questions for Charles Kolaw? He and his wife have built a very impressive, very scalable, growing business. He's here right now. This is Steve. I think he only has 8 rebukes so far today, so he's good for one more. Any questions for Steve or for Aaron? Yes. You're back. Okay, good job. Okay, where's Hannah? How was it? Was it good? Was it? Who's Hannah?
That's the second person that didn't die, so I think you guys are
2 in
pretty
a row.
much safe.
Who's Hannah?
Don't tell about
Hannah Dangle? You win.
You win.
Yay! And are you guys all a team here?
Go risk your life.
Okay, why don't you guys all go up on the helicopter, okay? And Hannah, I talked to your dad a little bit, and we want to make it extra special for you, so you're going to go up there for a half hour of power, okay? So have a good time, all right? All right.
All right. Yeah.
Have fun, Miss Hannah. Okay, great.
Clay,
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
I was going to just throw one more thing out there.
Yep.
When you have people who are toxic working for you and you don't let those people go, you got to also think about what happens with your team. They're sitting there observing it, going, what a weak leader. They can't even get rid of this person who's totally passive-aggressive. So it starts to turn them against you, even when that person isn't saying anything.
Which is why tomorrow we're going to talk really about how to specifically hire people, how to do the now hiring ads, how to call the leads, how to get people in, how to onboard people, the paperwork, the hiring. And if you feel like you don't know how to hire people, then you get stuck. And that's where I don't want you to be held hostage. Any other questions for Aaron Antis or Steve or Charles? Okay, all right. Final thing, and then we'll go, okay? I always say boom a lot, and people say, what is boom? What is that? Boom. In my mind, boom stands for big, overwhelming, optimistic momentum. That's what it stands for in my mind. Big, overwhelming, optimistic momentum. Because that's what it takes. When you go home and you want to apply these things, you're going to encounter a world that's not motivated to help you hit your goals. So you're going to have to bring the boom, and you're going to have to be the guy driving 90 miles an hour when the world goes 45. You're going to have to be the person who has a sense of urgency when other people don't. You're going to be used to people. You have to get used to people saying, what's your problem? Why are you so alpha? Why are you so aggressive? What is the urgency? Contractors always tell me, why is it so urgent that I get this done? Why does it have to be done today? You have to create that kind of urgency, okay? So you want to take all these ideas you're learning. So for homework today, any of the ideas that you've had while they're still floating around, I would encourage you to dog-ear those pages or write them in your book. So when you go home, you can take those ideas and put them into action and turn them into actual success, okay? So we're going to end with a boom, and tomorrow we're going to start at 7 a.m. So if everybody can get here about 6:45, that'd be great, because I'd like to start right on time. We have a lot of stuff we want to pack in, and we'll end with a boom, okay? So here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom! See you tomorrow.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems, that they taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline. But that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. One month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Colaw with Colaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood.
This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet. You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy with Tip Top Canine, and I'm the founder.
I'm Rachel Wimpy, and I am a co-founder.
So we've been running Tip Top for about the last 14 years, franchising for the last 3-4 years. So someone that'd be a good fit for Tip Top loves dogs, they're high energy, they want to be able to own their own job, but they don't want to worry about, that high failure rate. They want to do that like bowling with bumper lanes.
So you give us a call, reach out to us, we'll call you, and then we'll send you an FDD, look over that, read it, fall asleep to it, it's very boring. And then we'll book a discovery day, and you come and you can spend a day or two with us, make sure that you actually like it, make sure training dogs is something that you want to do.
So an FDD is a franchise disclosure document. It's a federally regulated document that goes into all the nitty-gritty details of what the franchise agreement entails.
So who would be a good fit to buy a Tip Top Canine would be somebody who loves dogs, who wants to work with dogs all day as their profession. You'll make a lot of money, you'll have a lot of fun, it's very rewarding. And who would not be a good fit is a cat person.
So the upfront cost for Tip Top is $43,000. And a lot of people say they're generating doctor money, but on our disclosure, the numbers are anywhere from over $1 million a year in dog training, what our Oklahoma City location did last year, to 25, 35 grand a month.
To train and get trained by us for Tip Top Canine, to run your own Tip Top Canine, you would be with us for 6 weeks here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
So we've been married for 7 years.
8 years.
8 years. So if you're watching this video, you're like, hey, maybe I want to be a dog trainer. Hey, that one sounds super amazing. Go to our website, tiptopcanine.com, click on the yellow franchising tab, fill out the form, and Rachel and I will give you a call. Our Oklahoma City location last year, they did over $1 million. He's been running that shop for 3 years. Before, he was a youth pastor with 0 sales experience, 0 dog training experience before he ever met with us.
So just call us, come spend a day with us, spend a couple days with us, make sure you like training dogs, and own your own business.
Well, the biggest reason to buy a Tip Top Canine is so you own your own job and you own your own future, and you don't hate your life. You get an enjoyable job that brings a lot of income, but is really rewarding.
My name is Seth Flint, and I had originally heard about Tip Top Canine through my old pastors who I worked for. They trained their Great Pyrenees with Ryan and Tip Top Canine. They did a phenomenal job and became really good friends with Ryan and Rachel. I was working at a local church, and it was a great experience. I ended up leaving there and working with Ryan and Tip Top Canine. The biggest thing that I really enjoy about being self-employed is that I can create my own schedule. I have the ability to spend more time with my family, my wife and my daughter. So my very favorite thing about training dogs with Tip Top Canine is that I get to work with the people. Obviously, I love working with dogs, but it's just so rewarding to be able to train a dog that had serious issues, whether it's behavioral or whatever, and seeing a transformation, taking that dog home, and mom and dad are literally in tears because of how happy they are with the training. If somebody is interested, I'd say don't hesitate. Make sure you like dogs. Make sure that you enjoy working with people, because we're not just dog trainers. We are customer service people that help dogs, and so definitely don't hesitate. Just come in and ask questions. Ask all the questions you have.